Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 4 of ALYFE Connects, our very first virtual event and exclusive digital-only party taking place all this week, brought to you exclusively by ALYFE Group. We have another fantastic day lined up, a full day of sessions with speakers from various backgrounds. We have a photography masterclass coming up later this afternoon. We have another happy hour champagne session, which I am very excited about. And we're going to wrap up the day with some live music by the brilliant Bobby Tan. However, we're kicking things off, as any good morning should kick off, with a good cup of coffee. And to help us through that, we're welcoming Dylan Chan. Dylan Chan is a barista working at Kohi Yatta in Sungai Besi Cafe and he has already achieved so much at such a young age, already having competed at a national level in barista championships. Dylan will be talking to us all about the champion barista's journey, and indeed the journey of a cup of coffee, as he tells us exactly what goes in to our cup from the minute it grows as seeds. So without further ado, please help me welcome Dylan Chan. Good morning.
Hey, morning everybody.
How are you today, Dylan?
Great.
Great. And how are you doing over there with this whole lockdown period? Are you enjoying the time at home? I understand you're still working, right?
Yeah, I did. I did enjoy the work.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the MCO these currently quarantine days. I did like maybe learn something new, like additional skills for myself. Well,
okay,
I'm still
so
working.
You've been using the time productively.
Yes.
Okay. So I understand. So I wanted to share with our audience. You mentioned you're still working at your cafe Kohi Yatta, which, by the way, guys, is still open for delivery. So if you live in or near the Sungai Besi area, do check them out. Their Instagram is just below. They are still doing delivery, and so please do whatever you can to help out an independent business like this one during these tough times. And this is where you've been working, Dylan, for how long now?
3 years.
3 years. Wow. Okay.
Yes. 3 years.
And in that 3 years, you've been pretty busy on the barista scene. I understand you've competed at quite a high level already.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Which competition was that?
It's a Malaysia Open Barista Championship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And, I can't really imagine what a competition like that must look like. It's not like your typical Olympic style event, huh? Tell me how does a competition like that work exactly? Do you have like qualifying rounds where you submit maybe pictures of your latte art and then you go to the live round championships, or what's the process? Tell me everything.
I did there's 3 selection. There's 2 selection. There's for barista and the other one is for latte art. But I joined the one is for the barista. So basically it's more in like practical and how you how you're working as a barista as your daily life. So basically for barista championship, open barista championship, you usually need to like do 3 section, which is your espresso, your milk base, and your signature coffee. So is for the last one is something like more in like mixology. So you need to like create a new drinks to combine your espresso.
Wow. And what is your signature drink?
That time I'm using Lerida, Panama Finca Lerida Esperanza. So and then I add on like homemade yogurt and with some syrups. Yeah.
Homemade yogurt. Wow, that sounds amazing. So like a very tangy but like a naturally sweet kind of taste to the drink. That's beautiful. Oh, and just on a quick side note, have you tried making your own Dalgona coffee? I'm sure you've seen the trend, of course.
Yeah, I did. You did.
So what's your? I mean, do you have? I mean, I bet as a professional, I'm sure you have like the way to make the perfect Dalgona. So what would the tip be? What's the best way to make the creamiest, thickest Dalgona coffee at home?
Is to, if you want like more creamier, maybe you can add on some cream, the whipped cream, and then whisk together with the chocolate or anything, any ingredients that you want to put.
It's
for the
amazing.
topping.
I've not tried it myself because I'm a bit lazy. I'm a bit malas in the kitchen, but I've seen a lot of my friends trying it, and it looks like a lot of effort, a lot of stirring, a lot of whisking just to get the consistency and the texture just nice. It's for me, I need my coffee. I need my coffee black, and I need my coffee hot, and that is okay.
Yeah.
But okay, you mentioned something just now, which I think is a very important point to bring up, and for our audience to really understand better. Like when it comes to the artistry and the energy and the effort and the almost the science, if you like, that goes into a coffee and you mentioned it was like a mixologist, right?
Yes.
And I think that's a very good comparison, because a lot of people don't appreciate the work that really goes in both to bartending and to being a barista. It's a lot more than just pouring drinks. Of course it is. So that's why we're very excited to have you on today, because let's face it, I think 99% of us can't live without a daily coffee. And yet maybe we don't have an appreciation or a knowledge of what's really going into our drink. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you've got to show us. So I understand you have some slides to go through. We're talking about the journey from seed to cup. So we'll go through those in a minute. But what I'd love to show the audience at home first is just a few examples of some of your work. I've got your Instagram here to show the guys, and look at this. It's really just amazing. I mean, the photography is amazing too, very artistic with the shadows and all. But you've got such intricate, beautiful designs here. You've got a hedgehog. You've got, what is this? You've got two bunny rabbits there. It's very cute. Really, it's better. Like a lot of places, you might just get a little smiley face or maybe a leaf or a flower or something. But this is really like next level stuff. Like, is that a hornbill?
Yes, it is.
You've actually got a hornbill on your cup of coffee. That is amazing. And all sorts of, so hopefully everyone at home can see just just the level at which Dylan is working here with it. And what's amazing is you said that you entered the championships actually not even in this category. You entered as a barista, and so
yes,
is the foam art just like a hobby of yours, just something that you pick up in your experience?
Yes, it's kind of my hobby for pouring art, because I find out that it's quite interesting and quite tricky, because how did I went through like how coffee attracted me because of a latte art. All right, first is latte art, then slowly we go more into theory to more understanding how does coffee come from the seed to the cup. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what I mean, you're still a young guy, Dylan, and you've been at the cafe for 3 years. So like, is this your first first job out of university?
Yes, it's my first full-time job.
Okay, and so what were you studying at university?
I didn't went to college, but I did went into a coffee course academy from Barista Asia.
Oh wow! Okay, so you went to coffee college.
Really? Yes.
Amazing. So this is where you learn all of the theory and all of the that you can see on screen now, just the level of detail and composure and control that goes into work.
But then it's quite different than from the academy. From you learn from the academy and you work as in a cafe. It's kind of different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. So you get to practice, obviously, working in that environment. You in the cafe, you get to practice every day.
Yes.
And try to learn. So what was it at the very beginning, that got you interested in this in the first place?
You mean my cafe, or how does it?
Sorry, no. Even before the cafe, like before you went to college, before you went to the coffee course, what was it about the industry or about the art, that interested you? Was it just was it one day you were at, a coffee shop and someone gave you a latte with a beautiful picture on and you thought, okay, this is pretty cool? I want to do this? Or how did that happen?
It goes back to when I was very young. My grandfather usually bring me to like all those local coffee shop, all right, and then I was very curious that why my grandfather always drink coffee like every single day. Why he need to drink coffee every single day? So when he went to toilet, I tried to have a sip of his cup of coffee. It's like, oh my god, it's like very amazing. It's like very amazing. I smells the
Wow.
aroma. It's a very, very nutty, very no all those kind of aroma. Oh my god, it's like very awesome.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's the person
Absolutely.
who inspired me to like more go into deeply in the coffee industry. Then after that, when I was around 18, I tried to go and research everything about coffee, and then I went to a event is everything is more about coffee. So I saw they have like courses for the coffee. So I enter it, and then I learn it about around 3 days, and then you need to like keep going back to keep practicing
Keep practicing,
your
yeah, of
maybe
course. Well,
your
yeah,
theory, your practical, and then you need to take the exam as well. Yeah. Then
yeah, I
after
bet, and I'm sure, yeah,
yeah
and it's and like coffee is it's I mean it's been a very popular drink ever since it was discovered, I think, but increasingly now there's a lot of, it's becoming an art just like wine or other kind of food like that, like in terms of the where the beans are grown, the quality, the climate, the soil they are grown in, the way that they are roasted, the blends. It's really a very deep and detailed and extremely interesting, I think, subject. And like I
yes.
said, so a lot of people don't realize that, they just, and I admit I'm drinking Nescafe Gold. So I apologize for that.
No, no doubt, no doubt.
I'm
Sometimes
one
I
of the bad
always
guys. I'm one of the bad guys. But sometimes people just think it's freeze dried coffee, put some boiling water in, and go away, and that's that. But really, there is a lot to appreciate about very, very good coffee. So before we get to your slides, I want to ask you, Dylan. So what is like, and this is maybe a very difficult question to answer, but like, what is your favorite coffee? What is your favorite blend, or what is your favorite drink? What is your favorite way to take it? I know that there are some blends like Blue Mountain from Jamaica, which is like very famous and to be very nice. And there's others, and there's the civet, the civet coffee, Kopi Luwak, isn't it? Which is obviously a delicacy too. But what is your personal favorite?
For my personal favorite, I think I will go for Ethiopia coffee bean, because it's more like fruity and more in tropical fruits. Yeah, you will sell the aroma like maybe like strawberry or blueberry, something like that. And then when you taste it from the front, it's like very sweet of the tropical fruits. Maybe
Oh, wow.
yeah. And then after that, at the middle, you will taste another thing. And then after the back end, you will taste a very smooth, clean, and very juiciness. Yeah, at the
Wow.
end. And
Isn't that so? You just described the front, the middle, and the end tastes. Each of them are
yeah,
very distinct, very, very different. And again, this is something which I think people would love to know more about, is how to really understand and appreciate the distinct aromas and the textures and the flavors of literally not just one sip. Well, because even in one sip, there are three different, taste sensations to enjoy,
yes.
and so I think it's amazing how you can identify that. And so, okay, for everyone listening at home, top tip: Ethiopian coffee has a distinctly fruity aroma and taste. You can actually almost taste strawberries and blueberries there, which is amazing because a lot of people just associate coffee with being very bitter and very dark. But
Exactly.
if you take the Ethiopian origin, fruity, strawberry, blueberry texture, and then at the back, what was it? Sorry, it was creamy at the back.
Yeah, it can be creamy, it can be juicy and syrupy as well. Yeah, the texture, the mouthfeel.
Beautiful. Okay, cool. So, Dylan, what I'd love to do now is ask you then to share a few slides that you've got for us, because I think this is a good time to really dive into the detail here and help us really understand what is going in that journey from seeds to cup. And I think we can all look forward to learning a lot more about coffee from what you're about to share with us. So, I'll leave it with you. Please show us what you've got.
Surely. Just give me a second.
In fact, we can look at some more of your nice coffee while your slides are loading.
All right. Can everybody see my slide?
Yeah. There we go. Okay, so if you just go full screen on your presentation, and then we can all see everything.
Yeah. All right. So welcome to my mini workshop, which is the barista skill from the seed to the cup. All right. So today we'll cover these 5 things: specialty or commercial coffee, coffee botany, green bean, coffee equipment or machine, and barista skill, and the customer service as well. So let's go for the what is specialty and what is commercial. So specialty coffee and commercial coffee. All right. So what is specialty coffee and commercial coffee for you guys? So for me, specialty coffee is graded above 80 level by the Q grader. Okay. So all the coffee beans can be graded out of 100. This grading process is called cupping. So cupping is like a bunch of people, they will like roast a large bag of bean, and then they will try to taste the coffee to find out their aroma and their tasting note as well. So they will compare the tasting note and then to pass it to the Q grader so that they can score the coffee. All right. And the coffee must has been cut by a certified Q grader, as I say. On top of that, too many defects in a sample of the green bean, unroasted coffee beans, will automatically disqualify that coffee from specialty status. So, okay. So on top of that, you can see the level bar. So 0 to 69 will be commercial, which is the grading, and 70 will be the premium coffee. For example, it's like Starbucks, all those. Yeah, they are using premium coffee. No offender, but yes, they are using premium coffee. And then 80 above is considered specialty coffee, which is the third wave, like current cafe we are serving. All right, but this is just a guideline because everybody have their own definition about what is commercial and what is specialty. All right. So, commercial coffee. What is commercial coffee? The coffee you purchase from large brand, roasted and sold in bulk. You'll find this product in almost any supermarket, such as maybe Giant, Aeon, Jasco. Yeah. And then commercial coffee comes in little bottles of instant or is already ground and packed in a tin or a collapsed plastic in case break. So normally they will just like straight away grind the coffee bean and then just pack in a like maybe a tin or some packaging to sell out in the market. The third will be commercial coffee is usually roast and packed in large brands under nationally advertising brand's name in a fancy container. So yeah, those commercial coffee, you can find in supermarkets, Giant, Aeon, all those. All right, so far everybody understand?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So far,
yeah.
Okay. So
let's move on to.
Just to clarify. Sorry. Just to clarify. So you said commercial. No, specialty coffee is anything that is considered above grade B. So is that right? So anything that passes the. So specialty coffee is anything that is considered to be above grade B. So the tasters or the reviewers, the analysts, like they taste it, and if it's above grade B, then it's considered specialty item.
Yes.
Awesome.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Next, coffee botany and green bean. All right. So normally these two varieties are very common in our coffee beans. So the first one will be the Arabica and the other one which is the Robusta. So how to differentiate these two variety? There's four ways. One, Arabica is generally bigger than Robusta. So you can see it's bigger than Robusta, all right? The second, Arabica has a wavy central split and Robusta is straighter. So you can see Arabica here. This is a central split. It will be more wavy. And then the Robusta will be more straightened.
Okay.
Right? The third one, Arabica is generally longer and thinner. Robusta is rounded. So this is the differentiate. And the last one will be Arabica is in general has a flatter dome and Robusta more curved. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see
Okay.
Robusta has the highest caffeinate than the Arabica because Robusta normally it blends in a very lower altitude, and Arabica, which is when you plant in a lower altitude, sea level, you will absorb like more bold and more strong tactile. That's why the caffeinate will be higher. And then for Arabica, they normally plant in a very high altitude, so it will be more high acidity as well. That it's why normally when you drink coffee, you will taste like, oh, so sour. But actually, it's not sour. We say that is acidity.
Okay. So Robusta is more acidic than Arabica.
No, Arabica is more acidic than the Robusta. Robusta has the highest caffeinate than Arabica.
That's the one. Okay, cool. Let me share that screen.
Yeah, because of the acidity, that's why you produce more sweetness. The higher acidity it is, the more sweeter it is. And no doubt, coffee for sure will have a bitterness inside. Yes, to balance up all the other flavor, so that maybe it can bring out like more dark chocolate. For example, like dark chocolate, like nutty, all those flavors come out. Yes. All right. Now let's move on to the other one. So this is a coffee cherry structure. Everybody knows that coffee is actually a coffee cherry. All right. So here's the outer skin, and there's a pulp. It can be say that is a mesocrab, the other name of the pulp of coffee cherry, and then the other one next go for the pectin layer and parchment coat, silver skin.
Dylan, sorry.
And yes.
Sorry, Dylan, just one sec. You might need to check the slides or connection because on the screen we haven't moved off the first slide yet. So I'm wondering if you need to take us to a different place in the presentation. Is yours?
Hold on, yeah.
So I can see.
Let me.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're on the coffee cherry structure.
Oh, so it might a bit delay, right?
Yeah, a little bit lagging. Okay, so now we can see the coffee cherry structure.
All right. How about now? Is that okay?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right now I can see the structure of a coffee cherry. Is that right?
Yeah. Okay. So continue. Let's move on. So this is a coffee cherry structure. So the outer one will be the outer skin. Then goes on to the middle. There's a pulp, which is the meat of the cherry. It can be say as in like mesocrab, and then goes on to pectin layer, parchment coat, silver skin, and then goes for the beans. And here's the center cut.
So we've got hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 layers or distinct parts within such a tiny little thing.
Yes. All this thing is
Amazing.
to protect. Yeah, all this layer is to protect the bean itself.
I see. Okay.
All right. Now go to the next slide. Can I see the next slide now?
Not yet, but give it a minute.
All right.
No, it's still on the coffee structure. Maybe try going like full screen with your presentation and then flicking through that way.
All right. How about now?
Yeah, there we go. A typical coffee cherry has 2 beans.
Yes. So normal coffee cherry, inside the normal coffee cherry, inside there's 2 beans facing each other on the flat side. But there's another type of coffee bean. We call it pea berry. So inside a pea berry, actually, it's just only one seed. So normally you will see pea berry in the specialty coffee, inside the package of specialty coffee, because it's kind of very how to say, very hard to find this kind of bean. It's quite precious. Okay. So which is it'll be more expensive than the normal coffee bean.
Interesting. The precious pea berry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you can see it's like very rounded, quite very cute. All right. Okay, now let's move to the other slide. The processing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Can you see the first processing?
I can see the title.
Can't
see what's on.
I think I need to like keep off and then open and slide. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've got the dry natural processing we can see now.
Yes. Normally we have 3 common processing methods. The first one will be drying process, or you can say it's a natural processing. The second one will be water processing, wet process as well. And the last one will be the honey process. All right, let's go for the dry process first. So normally they will harvest the coffee cherry and then wash it. After that, they will put the coffee cherry into a tank or a sink. There will be inside there is a full of water. Then after that, the ripe coffee cherry will sink, and then the unripe coffee cherry will float. So they will remove the unripe cherry, then it will let it dry on the sun on the African raised bed. So what is African raised bed? You can see there's a picture over here. This is the African raised bed.
Okay. So it's like a platform. Okay. It's like a huge drying tray that you raise above the ground.
Yes, and then it costs very less. That's why a lot of people are using this processing. All right, and then it will drop up to 10 to 14% to avoid the fermentation. The water content drop up 10 to 14% to avoid the fermentation. Then after that, the coffee cherry will be toasted in the air with Niru. Niru is an equipment to like flip the coffee cherry so that the both side of the coffee cherry it will be dry. It will be balancing dry.
Okay. Yeah.
Then after that, they were using Then after that, they were using a marling machine to separate the green bean and others. And then the last one will be wash the coffee. It will wash the bean and then dry and then doing the packaging.
Cool.
So natural process has a very high body, high sweetness, but lower acidity because of this processing. Okay. So it will affect a little bit of the body, the sweetness, and the acidity as well. Because coffee bean is a very sensitive kind of sensitive thing that will cause a lot of things. You turn you affect a lot of issues.
Yeah, sure. Even
and I will talk this,
even for such a small
I will
bean.
talk this information yes, correct. Okay. Now next will be the wash process. And you can also call it as a wet process as well. Same thing, need to harvest and then wash the coffee cherry, then put inside the tank, and then the ripe coffee cherry will sink, and then unripe coffee cherry will float. Then after that, it will remove the pulp and outer skin by using the pulp machine, left the pectin layer, parchment coat, silver skin, and green bean as well. Then they will put the coffee cherry into the cistern up to 16 to 36 hours for fermentation, so that the fermentating bacteria will dissolve with the pectin layer. Yeah, after that, wash the green bean for cleaning purpose by using a lot of water, because after the fermentation, there will be some of the impurities bacteria stay on the green bean. After that, they will dry the silver skin, and green bean by using a machine or sunlight to let it dry. Yeah, the last one will be using the molding machine to remove the parchment coat and silver skin.
Okay, yes. So this is a much more obviously much more manual process, and it can take up to 36 hours to properly dry it, and then you must wash it again to
yes,
to get rid of any impurities or bacteria. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, after that, same things. Same goes to like natural process. You need to dry the coffee bean and then pack. That's it. But for using this wash process, the body and sweetness will be lower, and the acidity will be higher, because they use this processing, and the other one because of the fermentation part. That's why the acidity will be higher.
Okay. Oh, so even after the washing process, after the fermentation, it still remains quite acidic.
Yes, because of wash processing. That's why.
Okay, sure. Interesting.
All right. Now let's move on to the third one, which is the honey process. It might be this honey process. It might be like kind of similar with the wash process, but is a little bit different. When this process is doing, it will left the coffee. It will left the mucilage, the pulp, so that when it dry, the pulp of the mucilage will combine with the coffee bean as well. That's why we call it honey process. That's why the sweetness is more higher and more body, but the acidity will be balancing.
So what point here does the honey, so you harvest, you wash, you put it into the water tank, and then you remove the machines. Where does the honey come into this? Or is honey just the name for the process?
The honey is because inside, when it dry, it will left the pulp and the bean together itself. So the pulp of the mucilage will cover up the coffee beans. That's why they call it honey. The sweetener is from the pulp, the cherry itself. Yes.
It's from the pulp. Okay, so there's no actual honey involved to make it so sweet, but the honey refers to the pulp and how that is maintained in the process. Interesting.
Yes. All right. So this is the common processing that everybody are using. Of course, there are more other kind of processing as well. Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. Now let's go to the coffee equipment and machine.
Oh, okay. Right. The tools of your trade. This is your.
Yes.
This is your baby.
Yes. It's our baby, and it can be said it's our wife as well. Yeah, we need to take care of her at like our girlfriend, our wife, because it's very, very, very expensive. Yes.
Very, very expensive.
Okay, you can see. Yes, it costs this machine. It costs around 100. No, almost 100,000 for this machine.
Wow.
Yes, so it will be quite expensive. Yes, because they have a three group head and 3 portafilter. It's quite huge. Yes. So
yeah, big ones. I didn't know they were that expensive, but wow, 100K.
Yes. So now the first one here on top, there's a cup warmer. So the purpose of cup warmer is to warm up the cup, so that when we extract the coffee when we serve the customer, when they drink, it'll be warm and hot as well when they drink. But yes, it's a cup warmer. It comes out a lot of heats on top of it, but please don't put your cloth or something else to warm up, to dry up, because inside the cup, below the cup warmer, there's a lot of electricity. There's a lot of currents as well. So when the water drop inside, the whole coffee machine will just condemn. Yes. So it's kind of like very dangerous, and you also don't want people to come and help you to service, because it's very expensive for just coming to service your coffee machine. It's very expensive.
So not just the machine, but the servicing too. So you really have to take care of this like like your most
that's why
dearly beloved. Okay, good to know.
Exactly. So the second, which is the group head. Group head is over here. This thing, all right. Group head actually is just to lock your portafilter, help you to lock your portafilter, and then to extract as well. Okay, the third one be the hot water. So this thing here, it produces hot water. There's a button over here to produce hot water, and then the fourth one, which is here, which is the steam one. Steam one is to help you to froth your milk.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm familiar with that.
Yes. And then goes for the 5 is, it can be say group handle or portafilter. This thing is to help you to contain your coffee ground, so that you can extract your espresso. Yes, extract your coffee as well. Then after that, 6 here is behind this hot water. Behind this hot water thing, you can see there's a water level over here. That one is boiler water level. Then after that, number 8 here is on off button.
Yeah.
Number 9 here is a drip tray. Same goes to drip tray over here, is you only can pour water inside and espresso as well, but no milk. No milk. No other ingredients you can pour inside the drip tray, because if you pour milk, for example, if you pour milk inside, milk will expire, right? It turns into yogurt. You getting fermentation when it's get longer inside the drip tray. So when it gets to when it turns to yogurt, you hold your pump here. There's a pump actually.
Yeah.
There's a pipe. Sorry, there's a pipe. There's a pipe below. So when it's stuck, it also will cause the machine condemn as well, and it will smell like very stink thing because of the yogurt, because of a fermentation of the milk. Yes.
Yeah.
So please don't pour any ingredient except water and espresso.
Yeah. No, I've been. I mean, I've never used a professional machine like that, but I've had a couple of very basic home espresso machines, and like there's one in my gym which is quite advanced, and the one at the gym, they don't always clean the milk pipe, out properly, and oh, it really smells. So yeah, so that's advice at home. So keep your coffee machines clean, people, because otherwise you'll get yogurt, and you do not want yogurt near your coffee machine.
Yes. All right. And then number 10 is product button, right? Which is over here. Here, all these are product button. So you can see here, there's a picture over here, although it's very small. There's like here, this button will be a single shot, pouring single shot. And second button here will be double shot. And then the third button will be flush, just to flush water.
Sorry, Anne, I think you need to come in and out of your slides again, because we're still seeing the coffee machine.
Yeah, it's still a coffee machine.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were showing us a different diagram. My mistake.
Okay. After that, you can see number 11. This thing is steam knob. Steam knob is to on off the steam one, so that you can froth your milk.
Cool. It's like a cockpit. Right. It's like flying a plane.
Yeah, kind of. There is another model is kind of like playing like a plane. Right, now let's move on to the other slide. Okay, you can see there's a tool grinder over here. All right. So on your right hand side, this grinder normally it grind for the blending bean. For normal blending bean. You can grind specialty coffee bean as well, but it come out the taste will be more different than the left one. The left one, this grinder is kind of more expensive than the right one because it made for purpose for grind specialty coffee bean to make your pour over, your coffee, your cold brew.
Right. So this is really designed for those grade B and above beans, right? The really premium stuff.
Yes.
Oh,
so
okay.
You can see the first one here is coffee bean hopper, is to contain the coffee bean. And then second, there's a cover. After that, there's a shutter over here to stop the flow, or you can just continue to flow the coffee bean that it goes through. Then after that goes to the grind size adjustment to adjust your grind size.
Okay.
Then after that goes to the on off button, then portafilter holder over here to hold your portafilter when you grind your coffee beans out. And there's a waste tray. There's a waste tray over here. Then goes to the dosing level. This is the dosing level. So you can see the left one have a dosing level, but the right one doesn't have because of the design. Yeah, they design it like that.
Okay.
All right. Then goes to the product button on top of here. And number 10 will be the coffee ground dosing, or you can say as in like grind on demand or dosing chamber.
Dosing chamber. Okay, so both of them have like a measurement and a dosing chamber, but the one on the left is just designed slightly differently to grind the beans.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The left one, they purposely design it for you to grind the specialty coffee beans. Just for specialty coffee beans. To extract, to grind out the flavor, the aroma comes out. So that you can, So this coffee grinder purposely to grind specialty coffee to make like cold brew, pour over, drip coffee as well. It's like more in flavor notes, more clear, and more naked. When you drink this kind of coffee, yes, it is more accurate than the normal grinder.
Okay, interesting.
All right, now goes to our next slide, which is the barista skill.
Now This is your time to shine.
Yes. So this is the barista skill. All right. So goes to the temping slide. So how to temp accurate. So how to temp it accurate. You can see on the left, you cannot like temp like upside down, like front and back. You need to be balanced.
Yeah.
Because when you temp it as front and back, so you will see it is not balanced and is slightly sloppy over here.
Yeah.
So when it's like sloppy, when the water goes through, the water will flow to the lower density area.
So that's it. It's not so you
So
need to
that
get it like you need to get it perfectly pressed, perfectly level, perfectly balanced down. So the water flow is even. Is that right?
Yes, correct. So if the water goes to the lower density area, which is here, there's a lot of space, so that when you extract the coffee, it will like kind of very watery, and the flow of the water of the espresso will be very fast.
Okay.
Yeah, so you wouldn't taste the espresso is like more creamier in the mouthfeel and the sweetness, or maybe when you taste the coffee, maybe you would just taste like very watery. Yeah, kind of like that. So you need to like temp like 90-degree and then press.
Yeah.
Gently press, not very hard, just gently press.
So at this stage, even when you're pressing down, even if you're not at perfect 90 degrees, even a couple of degrees off will change the whole way that the water flows and flows through, and then that will lead on to tasting it in the coffee itself in terms of the acidity and everything else. So even just a couple of degrees at this point, by the time it gets to your cup, it's changed everything about the taste.
Yes,
potentially.
Yes, as I said, coffee is a very sensitive thing. It's very sensitive. Yes.
This is why the coffee is such an art, guys. This is why, like, a good barista is a good barista is like a good barber. When you find one, you should never let them go, because you know that you're going to get the good cup of coffee every time.
Yes, exactly. All right. Now let's move on to the other slide. Calibration. So this is what every barista will do every single morning. This is our routine, our calibration, so that we can serve a good cups of coffee for our own customers. This is a very, very, very important part for all the baristas. So there's a 4-step. There's a 4 things you need to know: your grammage, your grind size, your time, and your temperature. So go to the grammage. So how many grams you need to use? It depends. It depends on your bean, the varietal, and the roasting profile, and the color of the roasting of the bean itself.
Yeah. Okay.
The
sure
more
must
darker, yes, the more darker it is, the more bold it is, the more tactile it is. All right.
Okay.
So it depends how many grammage that you need to use on that day. But the guideline will be around 15.5 gram. Yes, that's the average, or 16 as well. That's the average.
15.6 grams is the you said, yeah?
Yes. All right. Then goes to a grind size. So when you need to change the grind size, and grind coarse or grind to fine. Now you need to take note. This one will be quite tricky. All right. So for example, today I'm using, oh, sorry, don't go to this first. I continue the other two first, then I will straightforward to do an example for you. All right. So next, the time. How many seconds you need to stop for the espresso of the flow? Then the last one will be the temperature. So what temperature is suitable for coffee? Okay. Now I will do an example. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So currently our calibration will be 16. So today the calibration, the the accurate calibration for the nice coffee for today will be maybe I'm using 16 gram. The grind size will be grind size 6.5. All right. Then the time, the second, will be 29 seconds. The yield, the outcome yield will be 24 grams. And then the temperature will be 92.5. Okay, now come back to the grind size. So if let's say you are using back the calibration of the that you calibrate on that day. So when you pour your coffee out, when you extract a coffee out, you find out that why my coffee flow is different, why the time is different, why my yield is different. That time, you need to find out how to solve this problem. Maybe you can adjust your grind size, or maybe you can reduce your grammage, or maybe you can over the time or lesser the time. That's how you play with your calibration. It's quite very tricky.
Yeah, it must be some very, very fine. I bet even the difference between 92.5 and 92 degrees is, to a seasoned professional, I bet there's a huge difference in the output of those different temperatures, right? So there's a lot of there's a lot of variables to play with, and there's a lot that can go wrong, almost.
Yes, and it also, and the weather will also cause your extraction as well, because coffee bean is a very sensitive thing. Your environment, your humidity, the weather, the temperature, very cold or very hot, it also affect the extraction, your espresso as well. So it's very sensitive. Coffee is very sensitive.
It's very sensitive. Okay. Yes. I mean, I knew, of course, that there's a lot that there's a huge industry behind all of this. Like I said at the beginning, it's kind of like people treat it as seriously as they treat wine. But I had no idea that even when it comes to the barista process, there are so many little. When it comes to calibration, there are so many little tweaks and variables that you have to get just right. So it's really interesting stuff. Okay, yes. We've got a couple of minutes left of the session, Dylan. So just by the way, audience at home, if you have any questions for us, please do put them in the Facebook comments below, and we'll do a quick Q&A at the end. We have one question from Josephine, which I can't show on screen because I think it's a little bit personal, but she wants to know why coffee is affecting her in a certain way. Joe, I'm not going to show the question, so I'm not going to ask Dylan to answer it. But if I had to guess, it might be something to do with the acidity of what you're drinking. And I would also advise that you go and see a medical professional and ask him that question.
I think I can answer it because it's very common. It's like how you drink beer as well, how you drink alcohol.
There you go.
It's the same affection. So, as I say, coffee is a very sensitive thing. So it will combine your how to say. It will combine your stomach inside the acidity, and then the water inside the stomach, and then when you go off, when you go into the toilet, when you do it, it will come out the aroma, and a very strong aroma as well. It's like how you drink beer. When you drink beer, it will also have the same affection as well.
Well, there you have it, Josephine. I hope that answers your question. It turns out it is indeed the acidity mixing in with the aromas in your stomach. We've got a lovely comment here, by the way, from Suranjeev. Thank you for commenting, Suranjeev. Thank you for the session. I just love coffee, and I've been trying out different types from different places. The session is giving me huge new knowledge. So thank you, Dylan. And yes, indeed, thank you, Dylan, because yeah, like I said, I really did appreciate myself exactly what was going into every cup that I was drinking. And so I hope for the viewers at home, you know, the next time you go, you know, when all of this is over, and you manage to make it to your favorite cafe, do take a little bit more time to thank your barista for the work he's been putting in, and just take a little bit more time to sip and taste and literally experience your coffee, because there is a huge story and experience that has gone into that cup of coffee. So take your time to sip it, to taste it, to try and discover the different palettes and flavors and distinct aromas. Like Dylan mentioned, there are three, you know, the front taste, the mid taste, the back taste, which all can be very, very distinct, from fruits to creamy sensations and textures to sort of bitter, dark chocolate type aromas. It's really a very, very interesting and, you know, varied art, literally. And talking of art, Malcolm is asking here if we were showing off the latte art. So Malcolm, we can't do any live demonstrations, unfortunately, but if you check out Dylan's Instagram here at j1.1y, or let me just share my screen here. I can show you through, you know, a lot of, this is all Dylan's work right here. This is all some examples of the beautiful latte art that he produces. And bearing in mind, this part of the job is just a hobby for him. So, you know, it's actually as a barista, it's where his trade is really on at the professional, literally at the national level. He was competing in the Malaysian Open Barista Championships. So this latte art is just, you know, a hobby. But look at the detail here. This is that a hummingbird? It looks like. Wonderful stuff. Unicorn. Yeah, so you can see all of Dylan's work on his Instagram profile at j1.1y. So Dylan, yeah, I'm afraid we've just gone over the hour mark. So we've got one more question actually from Howard, which is a good question. When it comes to personality, do you think that, you know, what is it you think are your personal strengths and weaknesses, and how they contribute to your ability to be a good barista?
That's a good question. For me, okay, let's talk about my strength. My strength is, how do I do the customer service? How do I improve my skills to serve a very good cup of coffee to my own customer as well? That's how I get my regular customer in returns to come back and drink my cups of coffee. So that is my strength. So my weakness is maybe some kinds of the customer, they will think that, why my coffee is so sour, so high acidity. As I say, that's why we need to like educate our own customers. So normally, maybe we might be blaming that why you would think about like that, why you think of like this. Yes, that is my weakness.
Okay, well, you know, there's yin and yang, right? You've got there's good and bad, and maybe you're just what matters more is the people that keep coming back, because it shows that they have an appreciation for your personal service, and you can't please everybody, right? And especially something so delicate and sensitive as coffee. You know, it's important that you attract the right kind of drinker for your blend, I guess. So Howard, thank you for that question. Dylan, do you have a couple more slides to go, or can we wrap up the conversation there? Have I missed anything out? Have I stopped you early?
Yes, I do have some slide as well.
Okay.
All right, cool. So
Let's
continue.
Yeah.
Right, now goes to a frothing part. How do you froth your milk? So do you guys see the slide?
Yep. Figure 1, 2, 3. All right.
Yes. So the first one, insert your steam one into the milk jug, and or you can say it's a pitcher. So place either you use left or right. All right. Next, turn the steam knob and start pulling downwards to froth the foam out. So when you're pulling down, you will hear a hissing sound while you're frothing the milk. If you didn't hear the hissing sound, which is you didn't able to froth your milk. That's why you need to pulling downwards to hear the hissing sound. All right. The third.
Yep.
After that, you need to insert deeply. When you froth enough of the foam level, so you just insert deeply and let the milk swirl together with the foam. So the foam should be wet foam, not dry foam. All right. If you froth your milk to become a dry foam, you are not able to pour a very nice latte art. That's why you need a wet foam so that it can flows and combine with the espresso and become a very beautiful latte art.
Oh, okay. So it's all in the froth and the foam.
Yes, the frothing too is very important and it's also very tricky as well. You need to keep practicing to able to get the technique.
Yeah, I bet. All in the consistency of the froth, right?
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Now, next. This is the most important part to everybody. Hygiene. As a barista, you should clean your working area and make it neat and tidy. Clean as you go. Why you need to clean as you go? When you clean as you go, so that the next person who stand up on your station, on that station, her emotional or his emotional will be better, will be happy. If your station is very dirty, the next person turn to next person who are using it, you're very angry because your station is very messy. It's too messy, too dirty. It will cause your emotion. And your whole day will be like very moody, very angry, and you wouldn't want to show your emotional to your customer as well. So please clean as you go. It's very important. Second,
True.
always wash your hand and your station cloth after you using. Always need to wash your hand and your station cloth. So what is station cloth? There's particular parts for putting your station cloth. The first one will be on your drip tray. Second one will be on your steam one. The third one will be on the table to clean up. It's very important to clean up everything. Okay, the third one will be each equipment have different color of cloth, which is the color coding. As I say, there will be particular part you need to put your cloth to clean up. Number 4, purge, wipe, froth, wipe, and then purge when you're frothing your milk and after frothing your milk, because it's very important. If you didn't purge after you frothing your milk and wipe it and froth it, when you didn't purge and wipe after you frothing your milk, as I say, milk will become yogurt. So you don't want to have your yogurt stuck inside your steam one. And when you didn't purge and wipe, when you make the other cups of coffee, when you froth the milk, the yogurt will combine your fresh milk and then combine your espresso and then serve your customer. So you wouldn't want your customer to taste yogurt inside the coffee.
No, definitely not.
All right. Number 5, which is wash your pitcher or milk jug every time after using. Same to go. Milk is very, if they expire or if you just left it like maybe a few minutes, it will turn to yogurt. So you wouldn't want to serve yogurt to your customers.
Yeah, of course not. Unless it's your specialty drink, which you've done deliberately with homemade yogurt, like
Yes.
but you don't want old yogurt in the drink. No, not nice.
Yeah, that's why. All right.
Yeah.
Now, here's the last one: customer service. All right. First one, speed and attentiveness. Second, friendliness. Third, skill and service. Fourth, product quality. And the last one will be the cleanliness. Now, let's talk about speed and attentive. What is speed and attentiveness? So when your customer come in, the first thing you need to do is to show up your menu to your customer, to guide your customers to their place, and then greeting them as well. So this is speed and attentiveness. Second, friendliness. What is friendliness? Don't show emotion out. Smile every day to your customer so that they will happy and you will be happy as well. All right. Third one, skills and service. What is skills and service? Skills is your skills, your ability. How do you do your customer service? How do you mix a cup of coffee? How do you communicate and educate your customers? This is your skills and service. Product and quality. We are serving specialty coffee. This is our product and this is our quality. We are serving specialty coffee. It's a higher standard level and another kinds of coffee bean. And number 5, cleanliness. Your hygiene.
Hygiene
is very important.
I bet.
Yes, your hygiene.
And all of these combine to make the perfect, not just the perfect cup of coffee, but like the perfect barista too, I'm sure.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's wonderful. Okay, Dylan, I'm afraid we have to wrap up the session there. We've gone a little bit over the hour mark. So firstly, though, of course, thank you very, very much for joining us today. That was a really fascinating discussion, very thorough, very informative, very interesting. And I'm sure that everyone watching, whether live or catching up on Facebook and YouTube later on, will have definitely learned something. And I certainly hope we'll have a bit more appreciation for the next cup of coffee that they drink. Knowing now what has gone into it behind the scenes, literally that journey from soil to seed, through processing, to drying, harvesting, to serving, even down to the angle at which your barista holds your shot of espresso makes a massive difference. So, like I said before, Dylan works at Kohiata. The Instagram is down below on your screens. Check them out because they are still open and available for delivery during this MCO period. And you will get a wonderful cup of coffee made by the man himself right here, Dylan Chan. So thank you again for joining us. It's been wonderful having you as a guest.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on your career so far. I think it's amazing that you're competing nationally at such a young age, and I really hope in the next year or two that we get to see you on the international stage as well. So everybody keep an eye on that. Do follow Dylan, again, Instagram down below at j1.1y. So keep up with his latte art and his creations there, and his journey as a barista, and I'm sure a journey which will go from strength to strength. So talking of strength, I'm going to go pour myself an extra strong coffee as I get on with the session. Dylan, have a wonderful day. Stay at home as much as you can. I know you're working, but stay safe and take care, and stay in touch. And anybody who wants to follow him, do so on Instagram below. All right. Thank you, Dylan.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, guys, there you have it. A fascinating insight into the journey of coffee from seed to cup with national level barista. What an amazing thing. Dylan Chan, at such a young age, he's accomplished so much. And I think this young man has a very bright coffee career ahead of him. So we're going to take a quick lunch break, and we will be back at 3 p.m. with a photography masterclass with Sun Lee from the wonderful photography outfit All Is Amazing, who are very well known in Kuala Lumpur and indeed well beyond Malaysia for their exceptional photography, especially when it comes to the party scene. So I'm very much looking forward to understanding that. Suddenly we'll be taking us through tips and tricks that even beginners among us can master taking excellent photos. Later on, we'll have another happy hour session, and then we'll wrap up the day with some live music. So I'll see you all back here at 3 p.m. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you learned something. I certainly did. I will see you again here very soon. This is day 4 of ALYFE Connects, an exclusive week-long virtual event brought to you by ALYFE Group. Take care.